Hey, good evening. Come on right in, USA, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, International, plus the 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging out with me on the 112th episode of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, live and direct from StreamYard, alongside with YouTube and alongside of myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can know when each episode is going to be dropping and when I'm going to be on Instagram live on separate podcast show pages. And on top of that, on top of that, if you missed any previous episodes whatsoever and you're new to the channel, don't worry, I got you. Go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. Tap the notification and enable alerts on when you can actually be reminded of when the podcast recording is going to be on the air via live stream. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and and be sure to leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and alongside with listen, stream, watch the episodes, share the episodes, share the videos, and of course download the episodes, as well as tell a friend to another friend. And of course I'll be glad to I'll be glad to actually remind you that you can make a charitable donation. If you'd like to do so, you can go right here, which is the Cash App right here, which is $ G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. Once again, it's not about breaking the bank. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount of money you choose to donate that you desire will be appreciated. So there you go right there. And also, you can leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, of course, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as well. 5-star rating will be appreciated. All right. Okay, so without further ado, today's episode is titled Think Like a Winner Chicken Dinner. This reference is referring to the movie 21 and all the other casino movies that we're about to review today. So I want to actually get into, okay, first things first. The first thing that we need to get to is a little thing that, hold on a minute. Let's get in. Hold on a second. Give me a sec. Yeah, first and foremost, we need to get into some music Kool-Aid, actually. So, and this is the segment in regards to where I mentioned to you about, the hip hop history and the discography and all that other stuff right behind the scenes. So let's get into a little thing that I like to call music Kool-Aid. Let's get into it right about now. And take a sip of this music Kool-Aid right here. So there you have it right there. So yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So, first music artist that we gotta get to is regarding the late great Sean Price. Now, for those of you who may not know who Sean Price is, I will fill you in. Okay, so all right. So yes, Sean Price will be the first thing we talk about here. Um and all right, here we go. Yes, so the late great Sean Price. All right, so of course on today's date in 2007, Sean Price of the legendary Boot Camp Click, excuse me, Boot Camp Click released his second solo album entitled Jesus Price Superstar on Duck Down Records. Jesus Price Superstar features production from Knife Wonder and Crisis, as well as Illmind, Tommy T. Moss, and P.F. Cutton. Album guests include Boot Camp Click members Buckshot, Steel, and Rock, Rusty, Jux, Sadat X, Block McCloud, Fonte, Chondon, and the Loudmouth Choir. The album was met with a positive reception from music critics. Jesus Price Superstar debuted on the Billboard Hot 200 chart at 196, making it the first Boot Camp Click album since 1999 to crack the chart. This album was a superb follow up to Monkey Bars, Price's solo debut, but not even the BCC expected Sean's solo ventures to be received so well by an entirely different generation of hip hoppers than he was used to that celebrated his Helton Skelter success. After four successful solo albums, Price's life was cut short in August 2015 by what has still been ruled undetermined. Oh boy. Undetermined. Wow. That's crazy, man. And you know, everybody keeps saying life is too short, which is pretty true, though. It is true, and that's a fact right there. That right there, that's crazy, man. That's really crazy, though. For somebody's life to be cut short like that, obviously, it has to be a number of things: jealousy, envy of the person's success. I mean, you just name it, though. But that's crazy, though. That's crazy for his life to be cut short like that. Yeah. Let's see. That's wow. And all right, so let's really continue. Hold on a minute. All right, so salute to the Price family, his wife Bernie, his wife Bernie, his daughter Sean. Um Hang on a second. Sean Buckshot Steel Tech and the entire Duck Down team for sharing the unparalleled talent of an artist like Sean Price. Hmm. Yes. So, um, yeah, that's crazy. So SIP to Sean Price. And we have another one that we need to get to right here is Twister. I know a lot of you probably heard of him. And he dropped his album Kamikaze 19 years ago on the LP. I don't know. People still making LPs these days? I'm not so sure. But let's get into it. Today in hip hop history, Twister released his Kamikaze album, the Chi-Town MC's fourth studio LP in 2004. As Twister's only platinum release, it was his most successful album to date. During this era, Twister's Guinness Book of World Records rap speed was chic in the rap game, which made many forget that he began his career on the mic in the late 80s with his signature tongue twister style. In commemoration of Kamikaze, the Source.com has chosen 5 tracks from Twister's arsenal that made you forget that he's been in this game for 3 decades. Wow. Hold on 1 second. Yes, 3 decades is a lot. Welcome to my Hood remix, which is includes DJ Khaled featuring Movado, Birdman, Ace Hood, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Bun B, Waka Flocka Flame, and Twister. So he had videos like um, Overnight Celebrity, and all the other videos, including Slow Jams with Jamie Foxx, and of course Wusa, and all these other videos that he has so far. All right, all right, so let's get to um all right, let's get to a movie. Let's get to the chillax movie Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. All right. Let's get into it right here. And all right, so let's get into it. Okay, wait. Um Wait a minute here. All right, so because the episode is Think Like a Winner Chicken Dinner. This is about 21, the casino movie actually. So for those of you who may not heard of 21, it's actually basically blackjack per se. That's pretty much what that is actually. And when I saw the bus advertisement for 21, I didn't know that was Jim Sturgis until I looked them up actually. And I did play blackjack aka 21 before actually, but you know, I mean it was a lot of fun to play, but I will say this though, as I review, 21 and and the rest of the casino movies. I gotta say, man, 21 is a fun game. Y'all should try it out to take your minds off of stressful stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit with stress, I mean, it's no joke. All right. So let's get into 21. So for those of you who may not heard of 21, 21 is a 2008 American heist drama film directed by Robert Luketic and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. The film is inspired by the story of the MIT blackjack team as told in Bringing Down the House, the best-selling 2003 book by Ben Mesrich. IMDb offers a brief summary of the film. 21 is about six MIT students who become trained to be experts in card counting and blackjack and subsequently took Las Vegas casinos for millions in winnings. The film stars Jim Sturgis, Kevin Spacey, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Bosworth, Liza Lapira, Jacob Pitts, Aaron Yo, and Kiyu Chin. 21 was a box office success and was the number one film in the United States and Canada during its first and second weekends of release, despite some mixed reviews. Um, okay. And let's see. So, and the budget for the film, by the way, is $35 million. Yes, so yeah, $35 million is the budget. So and let's get into it. So critical response. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported that 36% of 172 critics gave the film a positive review for an average rating of 5.20 out of 10. Out of over 250,000 audience reviews, 66% were positive. The site's critical consensus reads 21 could have been a fascinating study had it not supplanted the true story on which it is based with mundane melodrama. On IMDb, 87.6% of users gave the film a rating of 6 or higher, with an average rating of 6.8. Metacritic gave the film an average score of 48 out of 100 based on 29 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B plus on an A plus to F scale. Wow, ain't that something? Well, that's really something else, though. You know what I mean? Um, that's really something else. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. I was lowering the volume so I could let the plane pass by. Just um. All right, so let me. I need to look. I'm looking for something actually. So, all right, here we go. I want to keep track of what I'm going to be reviewing, so just hang tight. All right, I got it. Okay, so um, let me see where I left off here. Okay, so let me see. In its opening weekend, the film grossed $24 million, $105,943 actually, in 2,648 theaters in the United States and Canada, averaging 9,103 per venue and ranking first at the box office. That's interesting right there. That's very interesting right there. And it's a good movie actually, if you will. Um so I actually recommend you check that out as well. Yeah. And what else? Yes, the film was also number 1 in its second weekend of release, losing 36% of its audience, grossing 15,337,418, expanding to 2,653 theaters and averaging 5,781 per venue. Wow. Wow. And the film dropped to third place in its third weekend, losing 32% of its audience, grossing $10,470,173, expanding to 2,736 theaters and averaging $3,827 per venue. Oh wow. By the fourth weekend, it fell to sixth place, losing 47% of its audience, grossing $5,520,362 dollars, expanding to 2,903 theaters and averaging $1,902 per venue. By the end of its theatrical run, the film grossed a total of 157,802,470 worldwide, 81,159,365 in the United States and Canada, and 76,643,105 in other territories against a budget estimated at $35 million. Wow. Okay, so wow. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Casting controversy. Wait a minute, second. Wait a minute here. Um. Okay, so I'm not sure if I want to read that. I'm not gonna read that though. Um. I'm not gonna read that. So reactions from casinos. In pre-production, the producers and the book's original writers predicted that the Las Vegas casinos would be unhelpful as a film that told viewers the basics of card counting might hurt their bottom line. A featurette included with the DVD completely and accurately describes the high-low system used by the MIT Blackjack Club and by Rosa's team in the film. The writers of the film were told by the producers that MGM Studios would finance the film, though all MGM casinos um, are owned by MGM Resorts International and are no longer related to MGM Studios. As another DVD featurette reveals, the casinos saw the film as an attention getter. People who saw it would be encouraged to go to Vegas and play. The film withheld critical strategy details, and most beginning card counters underestimate the number and value of the mistakes they made. Wow. And and yeah, and the soundtrack to it is um is here. So all music gave it 3 stars. The soundtrack was released at the same time as the film. So um number one, the Rolling Stones, You Can't Always Get What You Want, remixed by Soul Wax. MGMT, Time to Pretend. LCD Sound System, Big Ideas. D Sardi featuring Leela Moss, Giant. Amon Tobin, Always. Peter Bjorn and John, Young Folks. Shook Ones, Soul Position. Get Shakes, Sister Self Doubt. The Aliens, I Am the Unknown. Rihanna, Shut Up and Drive. Knives Out, Already. Domino, Tropical Moonlight. Um, 13, Uncle, Hold My Hand. Mark Ronson, 14, featuring um Cass Abian. Um, LSF, which is Lost Souls Forever, and of course, number 15 broadcast Tender Bottoms. Other other tracks, although it is not included in the soundtrack, Moby Slipping Away plays in the scene when Ben is passing through airport security. The song Everybody Get Dangerous by Weezer was also featured in the film, but not included on the soundtrack since it was not yet released. It would later be released on Weezer's 2008 record, The Red Album. It is played on a distant radio when the team is in a poker club. The songs to be I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick and Music is Happiness by The Octopus Project were also featured in the film, but not on the soundtrack album. The song Magnificent by Estelle featuring Cardinal Official was also featured in the film, but not on the soundtrack album. In the promotional trailers, Break On Through to the Other Side by The Doors was used. During the restaurant scene where the team explains to Ben how they work, Home by Great Northern can be heard playing in the background. The song again with the subtitles by Texas artist um uh, by YP Pa is another uncredited song in the film. The track played as the team makes off at the end of the film is Rito, a Los Angeles by Giuseppe De Luca, which features part of the main riff of In A Gata da Vida. This track is also used in Ocean's 12, the first sequel to the Capra film Ocean's 11 about actually robbing casinos in Vegas. My Mathematical Mind by Spoon was featured in the trailers. Okay. All right, so we got another film that we need to get to. We got another film that we need to get to right here. Um, all right, so Casino is a 1995 American epic crime film directed by Martin Scorsese, produced by Barbara D. Fina, and distributed by Universal Pictures. It is based on the 1995 nonfiction book Casino: Love and Honor in Las Vegas by Nicholas Pileggi, who also co-wrote the screenplay along with Scorsese. It stars Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, Don Rickles, Kevin Pollak, and James Woods. Oh my gosh, the same guy that was in that's the same guy that was in fucking Family Guy. That's funny, right? Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The film was the eighth collaboration between director Scorsese and De Niro. And yeah. So the budget for the film is between 40 to 50 million dollars. Wow. All right, so Casino follows Sam Ace Rothstein, played by De Niro, a Jewish American gambling expert handicapper who is asked by the Chicago outfit to oversee the day-to-day casino and hotel operations at the Tangier Casino in Las Vegas. Other characters, other major characters include Nicky Santoro, a made man and friend of Sam, and Ginger McKenna, a streetwise chip hustler who Sam marries and has a daughter with. The film details Sam's operation of the casino, the difficulties he confronts in his job, the mafia's involvement with the casino, and the gradual breakdown of his relationships and standing as Las Vegas changes over the years. The primary characters are based on real people. Sam is inspired by the life of Frank Rosenthal, also known as Lefty, who ran the Stardust Fremont Marina and Hacienda casinos in Las Vegas for the Chicago outfit from 1968 until 1981. Nikki and Ginger are based on mob enforcer Anthony Spilotro and former dancer and socialite Jerry McGee, respectively. Casino was released on November 22nd, 1995 by Universal Pictures to a mostly positive critical reception and was a worldwide box office success. Another movie that did great in the box office, just like 21. Stone's performance was singled out for acclaim, earning her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama and a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress. Well, let's go to the reception. Casino opened in 1,016 theaters and grossed about $10 million in its opening weekend. The film grossed $43 million domestically and $73 million internationally for a total of $116 million worldwide on a $40 to $50 million budget. Okay, critical response. On its release, the film received mostly positive reviews from critics, although their praise was more muted than it had been for the thematically similar Goodfellas, released only 5 years earlier, with some reviews criticizing Scorsese for retreating familiar territory. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 79% based on 70 reviews, with an average rating of 7.2 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads impressive ambition and bravo, brav, brav, bravura, bravura performances from an outstanding cast help Casino pay off in spite of a familiar narrative that may strike some viewers as a safe bet for director Martin Scorsese. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 73 out of 100 based on 17 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences surveyed by Cinema Score gave the film a grade B minus on scale of A plus to F. Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 4, stating that Martin Scorsese's fascinating new film Casino knows a lot about the mafia's relationship with Las Vegas. Like The Godfather, it makes us feel like eavesdroppers in a secret place. He added, unlike his other mafia movies, Mean Streets and Goodfellas, Scorsese's Casino is as concerned with history with as with plot and character. Philip Thomas of the Empire praised the film while highlighting its similarities to Goodfellas. He gave the film 5 stars, commenting it may not be Scorsese's greatest work, but excuse me, but this guy feeling a little off color is still far better than most people on fighting fit form. It only gets more impressive as time goes on. The film's critical profile has increased in years after its release, with several critics expressing that in retrospect, they feel it is a more accomplished and artistically mature work than the thematically similar Goodfellas. And of course, Damas Damas Schoonmaker won for Best Film Editing for the 2020 awards. And of course, Sharon Stone, Dama Schoonmaker, of course, got a nomination for Best Actress of the Academy Awards. Dama Schoonmaker got a nomination for Best Edited Feature Film for the American Cinema Editors Award. And the movie itself got a nomination for Best Cast Ensemble for Awards Circuit Community Awards. Of course, Martin Scorsese, of course, Martin Scorsese, third place, best film, um, and best director got a nomination, um, and that's for the Chicago Films Critic Association Awards. Best Actress Sharon Stone got a nomination for the Chicago Film Critics Association Awards, and also for the Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics Association Awards. Um, and she also won the Golden Globe Awards for Best Actress in the Motion Picture Drama. And Martin Scorsese, Best Director Motion Picture, got a nomination. Sharon Stone got a nomination for Best Female Performance for MTV Movie Awards. Joe Pesci got a nomination for Best Villain. Martin Scorsese got a nomination for Best Foreign Director. And Dante Ferretti won for Best Production Design. Gigi Peretti won for Best Male Dubbing. And let's get to the soundtrack. All Music gives it 5.5 stars. And the soundtrack goes like, wow. Um, so Contempt by Georges Delarue. Angelina Zuma Medley by Louis Prima. Hoochie Coochie Man by Muddy Waters. Oh man. Oh man, that shit is funny. Oh man. Oh my fucking gosh, man. Every time I see the name Muddy Waters, that shit is so fucking hilarious right there. Anyway, I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers. Nights in White Satan by the Moody Blues. How High in the Moon by Les Paul and Mary Ford. Hurt by Timmy Euro. Ain't Got No Home by Clarence Frogman Henry. Oh shit. Without You by Nilsson. Not Nelson, but Nilsson. Love is the Drug by Roxy Music. Okay, wait a minute, man. You know, I actually spoke to somebody a couple weeks ago um in regards to love being a drug. But then I was like in my head, how can love be a drug if it's not something you can eat and swallow? But it's like I don't know, like I'm a little iffy about this shit though, man, to be honest with you folks. It's just I don't know. It, for me, for me, I don't know how often. Look, everybody's different when it comes to love. Everybody's different. Not too many people. I'm not gonna say everybody has been addicted to love, but some people don't really get the addiction to love. And yes, sometimes you do want to cuddle with somebody, the people that you love, as far as individuals. Yeah, and sometimes you need to take a chill pill. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying. So that's just my take on that shit, though. Anyway, let's continue. Love is a drug. Yeah. So I'm Sorry by Brenda Lee. Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. The Thrill Is Gone by BB King. Love is Strange by Mickey and Sylvia. The In Crowd by Ramsey Lewis. Stardust by Hoagie Carmichael. Hoagie. Oh shit. Oh man. Walk on the Wild Side by Jimmy Smith. Sad Song um by Otis Redding. I Ain't Superstitious by Jeff Beck Group. The Glory of Love by the Velvet Tones. I can't get I can't get no satisfaction by Devo. What a difference a day made by by Dina Washington. Working in the Coal Mine by Lee Dorsey. The House of the Rising Sun by The Animals. Told by Cream. Who Can I Turn To by Tony Bennett. Slipping and Sliding by Little Richard. No, You Are Nobody Till Somebody Loves You by Dean Martin. Compared to What by Les McCann and Eddie Harris. Basin Street Blues When It's Sleepy Time Down South by Louis Prima. St. Matthew Passion by Johann Sebastian Bach. All right. So let's get into Uncut Gems, another rated R movie. Yes, it's rated R. I found that out. Um, Uncut Gems is a 2019 American crime thriller film directed by Josh and Benny Safdie, who co-wrote the screenplay with Ronald Bronstein. The film stars Adam Sandler, Stanfield, Julia Fox, Kevin Garnett, um, Idina Menzel, and Eric Bogosian. The film tells the story of Howard Ratner, a Jewish American jeweler and gambling addict in New York City's Diamond District, who must retrieve an expensive gem he purchased in order to pay off his debts. Filming took place from September to November 2018. The original score was composed by Daniel um, Lopatin. Uncut Gems was Sandler's first widely released film in an on-screen role since Pixels in 2015. And um Uncut Gems premiered at the 46th um Telluride Film Festival on August 30th, 2019. It entered into a limited release in the United States on December 13th, 2019, before a wide release on December 25th by A24. The film received widespread critical acclaim, especially for Sandler's performance, which several reviewers described as the best of his career. It was chosen by the National Board of Review as one of the top 10 films of 2019. Um, and we go to the reception. Um, in its limited opening weekend, the film made $537,242 from five theaters for a per venue average of $107,448, the highest ever for A24 and the second best total of 2019. Wow. And it then made $241,431 in its second weekend. The film made $5.9 million on the first day of wide release, including $1.1 million from previews on Christmas Eve, the highest single day gross in A24's history. It went on to make a total of $18.5 million over the 5 days, which includes $9.6 million in the weekend, finishing sixth at the box office. In its second weekend of wide release, the film made $7.5 million, finishing eighth with $50 million. Uncut Gems was A24's highest grossing film domestically until it was surpassed by Everything Everywhere All at Once in May 2022. Um, yeah. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 91% based on 345 reviews, with an average rating of 8.4 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, Uncut Gems reaffirms the Safdies as masters of anxiety-inducing cinema and proves Adam Sandler remains a formidable dramatic actor when given the right material. Metacritic gave the film a weighted average score of 91 out of 100, based on 56 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Audiences polled by CinemaScore during the film's limited release gave it an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale. Upon going wide, it earned a C plus score, as well as an average 2 out of 5 stars on post track. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian calls the film a cinema of pure energy and grungy voltage. Oh shit. The the Safdies make it look very easy. This film will be the year's most exciting film. Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times directed with relentless tension and diamond hard intelligence by Josh and Benny Safdie. Um, Uncut Gems is a thriller and a character study, a tragedy, and a blast. Eric Kahn of IndieWire gave the film a grade of A, calling it a riveting high wire act, pairing cosmic visuals with the gritty energy of a dark psychological thriller and sudden burst of frantic comedy. Ooh. J. Cole of Slant Magazine gave the film 3.5 out of 4 stars, writing as in good time. Uncut Gems finds the Safdies working in a genre rooted in the grimy character-oriented crime films of the 70s. Rad Hagen, um, Simon Pala of Now commented that there's so much propulsive forward momentum, even when the characters never get anywhere. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, many will agree that this is Sandler's best performance, and the Safdies will finally move from the fringes of the commercial film scene to somewhere closer to the center. Um, and by the way, the budget for the Uncut Gems rated R movie is $19 million, and it made $50 million in the box office, which is not bad. All right, let me see where I left off here. Yes, so in her roundup of the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival, Wendy um Wendy ID of The Guardian ranked Uncut Gems as one of the best films of the year, calling it audacious, thrilling, and exhausting, and Sandler's remarkable performance as one of the best performances of the year, and praising the cinematography. Kevin Garnett's performance was also praised, with Brady Langman of Esquire calling it the year's best workout performance, and Alan Siegel writing on The Ringer that it was one of the best acting performances by an athlete ever. The accolades. The film was highly rated on many critics and of year top lists, and Metacritic compiled those mentions and ranked the film fifth overall for 2019. Uncut Gems was ranked by the AV Club as the 92nd best film of the 2010s. Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, um, so so the Casting Society of America, Francine Maisler got a nomination for feature big budget comedy. Uncut Gems got a nomination for Best Picture for the Critics' Choice Movie Awards. Um, and Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie got a nomination for Best Director. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor. Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie also got a nomination for Best Editing. And for the Detroit Film Critics Society, Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor, and Uncut Gems got a nomination for Best Use of Music. For the Film Critics Circle, Ronald Bronstein, Benny Safdie, and Josh Safdie both won for Best Original Screenplay. and Daniel Lepadin won for Best Score. Now the Golden Raspberry Awards. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Razzie Redeemer Award. Uncut Gems got a nomination for Best Feature for the Gotham Awards. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor. Julia Fox got a nomination for Breakthrough Actor. And Scott Rudin, Eli Bush, and Sebastian Bear McClard got a nomination for Best Feature for the Independent Spirit Awards. Benny and Josh Safdie won for Best Director. Adam Sandler won for Best Male Lead. Ronald Bronstein, Benny Safdie, and Josh Safdie got nominations for Best Screenplay. Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie won for Best Editing. And the Los Angeles Film Critics Association Award. Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie runner up. Adam Sandler, Ronald Bronstein, Benny Safdie, and Josh Safdie. Uncut Gems, Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie won for Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay for the National Board of Review, Top 10 Films, New York Film Critics Circle for Best Director. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor for the San Diego Film Critics Society. Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie won for Best Director. And, of course, Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie, Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie are runner-up for Best Original Screenplay and Best Editing. And the Satellite Awards. Uncut Gems got a nomination for Best Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor, Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical. Uncut Gems got a nomination for Best Thriller Film in the Saturn Awards. Also, Uncut Gems got nominated for Best Picture at the Seattle Film Critics Society. Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie got a nomination for Best Director. Adam Sandler got a nomination for Best Actor. Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie won for Best Film Editing. Daniel Lepadin won for Best Score. And Adam Sandler won for Best Actor for the St. Louis Film Critics Association. Reaction to award nominations. Okay, so critics and commentators considered Sandler to be a viable contender to be nominated for the Best Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance in Uncut Gems. During a December 2019 interview with Howard Stern, Sandler jokingly promised to make the worst movie ever if he did not win an Oscar for Uncut Gems, and said, "If I don't get it, I'm going to come back and do one again that is so bad on purpose just to make you all pay. That's how I get them." When nominees for the 92nd Academy Awards were announced in January 2020, Sandler did not receive a nomination. Reacting to the announcement, Sandler congratulated Kathy Bates, his former co-star in The Waterboy, on her Best Supporting Actress nomination and wrote, "Bad news, Sandman gets no love from the Academy. Good news, Sandman can stop wearing suits." Ooh. Wow. 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 All right, Rounders. Rounders is a 1998 American drama film about the underground world of high-stakes poker, directed by John Dahl and starring Matt Damon and Edward Norton. The story follows two friends who need to win at high stakes poker to quickly pay off a large debt. The term rounder refers to a person traveling around from city to city seeking high stakes card games. And yeah. And Rounders opened to mixed reviews and was moderately successful at the box office. Following the poker boom in the early 2000s, the film became a cult hit. Look, man, I'm gonna call it a classic, man. Don't call it a fucking cult, man. This is fucking ridiculous right here. It's like really, and I said this before, man. Like really. So okay, so all right, let me see what the budget is. So the budget for the film is for the rated R movie is $12 million. And yes, speaking of the box office, Rounders was released on September 11th, 1998 in 2,176 theaters and grossed $8.5 million during its opening weekend. And it went on to make $22.9 million domestically. Domestically, yes. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes. The film has an approval rating of 65% based on 81 reviews with an average score of 6.20 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads richly atmospheric and colorful performances contributed to the movie's entertainment value. Metacritic gives the film a weighted average score of 54 out of 100 based on 32 reviews, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B minus on an A plus to F scale. One moment. All right. All right. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3 stars out of 4 and wrote, in quote, Rounders sometimes has a noir look, but it never has a noir feel because it's not about losers. It's essentially a sports picture in which the talented hero wins, loses, faces disaster, and then is paired off one last time against the champ. In her review for the New York Times, Janet Maslin wrote, hold on. End quote. Though John Doe's Rounders finally adds up to less than meets the eye. What does meet the eye and ear is mischievously entertaining. USA Today gave the film 3 out of 4 stars and wrote, in quote, the card playing is well staged, and even those who don't know a Texas Hold'em from a Texas hold down, a hold down. Oh man, a Texas hold down. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh my god, that was funny right there. Yeah, that was hilarious though, man. That was very hilarious. Hold on a minute. Where is this? All right. Yeah, the hold down shit. Oh man. Yeah, the Texas hold down will get a vicarious charge out of the action. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B rating, and Owen Gleiberman wrote Norton cast in what might have once been the Sean Penn role. Um, hid, hideous shirt screw you attitude gives Worm a shifty, um, and amphetamine soul and a pleasing alacrity. Norton's performance never really goes anywhere, but that's okay since the story is just an excuse to lead the characters from one poker table to the next. Peter Travers in his review for Rolling Stone said of John Malkovich's performance. Of course, no one could guess the extent to which Malkovich is now capable of chewing scenery. He surpasses even his eyeball rolling as Cyrus, the virus in Con Air. Munching Oreo cookies, splashing the pot with chips. And speaking with a Russian accent that defies deciphering, Mokovic soars so far over the top he's passing Pluto. Oh, oh speaking of eating, let me just get yeah. All right, so let's see. Yes, so in his review for the San Francisco Chronicle, Mick LaSalle said of Damon's performance, Mike should supply the drive the film otherwise lacks, and Damon doesn't. We might believe he can play cards, but we don't believe he needs to do it. In the way, say that the 12-year-old Mozart needed to write symphonies. He's not consumed with genius. He's a nice guy with a skill. In his review for the Globe and Mail, Liam Lacey wrote, in quote, the main problem with Rounders is that the movie never quite knows what it is about. What is the moral ante? Despite an unbreakable theatrical release, Rounders has a following, particularly among poker enthusiasts. There are pro poker players who credit the film for getting them into the game. The film drew in successful players such as Brian Rast, Havad Khan, Gavin Griffin, and Dutch Boyd. Vanessa Russo has said of the film's influence, there have been lots of movies that have included poker, but only Rounders really captures the energy and tension in the game. And that's why it stands as the best poker movie ever made. Okay. Let's get into let's get into uh let's get into the card counter. Yes, The Card Counter is a 2021 American crime drama film written and directed by Paul Schrader. It stars Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, Ty Sheridan, and Willem Dafoe. Martin Scorsese is an executive producer. Um, and is rated R. And let's see. So it had its world premiere at the 78th Venice International Film Festival on September 2nd, 2021. It was released on September 10th, 2021 by Focus Features. And by the way, before I get into it, let me get to the budget. Well, I don't see the budget. I didn't see the budget on here, so it only made like $5 million in the box office. Damn. So in the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Malignant and Show Me the Father. It grossed $1,039,580 during its opening weekend and $2,657,850 in total domestically and 2,394,691 internationally for a worldwide total of 5,052,541. Wow. Wow. Okay. Right. So let's get it. All right. Oh man. Let's see. On Rotten Tomato, hold on, wait a minute. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 87% based on 221 reviews, with an average rating of 7.5 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, led by Oscar Isaac's gripping performance, The Card Counter adds another weighty chapter to Paul Schrader's long inquiry into man's moral responsibility. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 77 out of 100, based on 48 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Reviewing the film for the Chicago Sun-Times, critic Richard Roper gave The Card Counter 4 stars, labeling it as searing, stunning, and praising Oscar Isaac's performance as magnetic in what Roper called one of the best films of the year. David Rooney also gave the film a positive review for The Hollywood Reporter, calling it a bruising character study. And although noting some moments of slack storytelling, praised the film as a highly controlled piece of filmmaking with an unerring command of tone and Isaac as a remarkably compelling force. For the Atlantics, David Sims also praised the film as a compelling, impressive character study with larger implications, as a metaphor for America's struggle to overcome its grimmest failures. In a 3-star review for the Washington Post and Hornaday, Hornaday, Wow. Horn a day. Oh wow. Horn a day. Wow, wow, wow. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on a minute here. Yeah, yeah, okay, so yeah, Anne Hornaday had a mixed response to the film and criticized it for being occasionally perfunct perfunctory. Don't know what that is, but and tedious, overly schematic, and missing polish. However, she commended the film for its haunting power and praised the acting, calling Isaac mesmerizing. The card counter was included on a number of year-end critic best of lists, including Time, which also named Isaac's performance as one of the top 10 of the year. The New Yorker, RogerEbert.com, IndieWire, the AV Club, and and more included the film as one of the best of 2021. Now we go to the accolades. All right, so the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. Robert Levin Bin and Giancarlo Volcano got a nomination for Best Original Score in an Independent Film. The Gotham Awards. Paul Schrader got a nomination for Best Screenplay. Isaac, no, excuse me, Oscar Isaac also got a nomination for Outstanding Lead Performance. National Board of Review, the card counter won for top 10 independent films. The Detroit Film Critics Society, Oscar Isaac got a nomination for Best Actor. Chicago Film Critics Association, Paul Schrader got a nomination for Best Original Screenplay. Florida Film Critics Circle Awards. Um, Oscar Isaac got a nomination for Best Actor and third place for Best Actor in the Dublin Film Critics Circle. And of course, another nomination for the London Critics Circle for Actor of the Year. All right, let's go to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a 1998 American black comedy adventure film adapted from Hunter S. Thompson's 1971 novel of the same name. It was co-written and directed by Terry Gilliam, and stars Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro as Raul Duke and Dr. Gonzo, respectively. The film details the duo's journey through Las Vegas as their initial journalistic intentions devolve into an exploration of the city under the influence of psychoactive substances. Um, the film received mixed reviews from critics and was a financial failure, but has since become a cult classic among film fans. Oh gosh, what is with everybody in calling a film a cult, man? Golly. Um, damn. So it didn't do good in the box office. Wait, hold on. So yeah, the budget for the film is $18 million. It did $13.7 million. Okay, so the film opened in wide release on May 22nd, 1998, and grossed $3.3 million and in 1,126 theaters on its first weekend. The film went on to gross $10.6 million, well below its budget of $18.5 million. However, the movie reignited interest in Thompson's novel. Vintage Press reported an initial reprint of 100,000 copies to tie in with the film's release, but demand was higher than expected and forced the novel to go back to print a further 5 times. Jeez, Louise, man, that has to suck, man. All right, so critical response. Gilliam wanted to provoke strong reactions to his film. As he said in an interview, I wanted to be seen as one of the great movies of all time and one of the most hated movies of all time. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas polarized critics. It currently has a 49% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 69 reviews with an average rating of 5.9 out of 10. The site's critical consensus calls the film visually creative, but also aimless, repetitive, and devoid of character development. Metacritic calculated an average score of 41 out of 100 based on 19 reviews, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of C plus on an A plus to F scale. Um, In the New York Times, Stephen Holden wrote, in quote, even the most precise cinematic realizations of Mr. Thompson's images don't begin to match the surreal ferocity of the author's language. Stephen Hunter, in his review for the Washington Post, wrote, it tells no story at all. Little episodes of no particular import come and go. But the movie is too grotesque to be entered emotionally. Mike Clark of USA Today found the film simply unwatchable. In The Guardian, Gabby Wood wrote, in quote, after a while, though, the ups and downs don't come frequently enough, even for the audience, and there's an element of the tedium usually found in someone else's druggy experiences. Roger Ebert found the film disgraceful, giving it 1 star out of 4 and calling it um a horrible mess of a movie without shape, trajectory, or purpose. A one joke movie, if it had one joke. The two characters wander witlessly past the bizarre backdrops of Las Vegas while zonked out of their minds. Humor depends on attitude. Beyond a, a certain point, you don't have an attitude, you simply inhabit a state. Gene Siskel's thumbs up review at the time also noted the film successfully captured the book's themes into film, adding what the film is about and what the book is about is using Las Vegas as a metaphor for or a location for the worst of America, the extremes of America, the money obsession, the visual vulgarity of America. Michael O'Sullivan gave the film a positive review in the Washington Post. What elevates the tale from being a mere drug chronicle is the same thing that lifted the book into the realm of literature. It's the sense that Gilliam, like Thompson, is always totally in command of the medium whilst abandoning himself utterly to unpredictable forces beyond his control. Empire magazine voted the film the 469th greatest film in their 500 greatest movies of all time list. Andrew Johnston, writing in Time Out New York, observed fear is really a a Rorschach test of a movie. Some people will see a god awful mess rendered inaccessible by the stumbling handheld camera and depth's nearly incomprehensible narration. Others will see a freewheeling comedy, a thinking person's Cheech and Chong film. Oh man. Oh my gosh. It all depends on your mood, expectations, and state of mind. For the record, I was sober and basically enjoyed myself. The status. The film has been rescreened at various cinemas such as the Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square, London, and a special screening from original, excuse me, VHS tape at Swordtail Studio London in 2016. The increased intention for the film has also led some news outlets to reconsider the mixed original reception of the film. Scott Tobias of the AV Club argued in his more recent review of the film that it would have had a greater impact had it been produced at the time. When Brewster McLeod proved that anything was possible, but short of a time machine, Gilliam does what he can to bring the era back to life. Now we go to the awards. The film was nominated for a variety of awards that both praised the praised and condemned it. Terry Gilliam the was nominated for the Palme d'Or at the 1998 Cannes Film Festival, while Johnny Depp won the Best Foreign Actor award from the Russian Guild of Film Critics in 1998. However, Depp and Del Toro were also nominated by the Stinkers Bad Movie Award for Worst on the Screen Couple, and during the same awards, Del Toro's portrayal of Dr. Gonzo was also nominated for the Worst Supporting Actor. Okay, that doesn't sound good at all, right? Actually, right? Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. Hmm. Okay, that movie right here that we just reviewed, it sounds like it had a crash and burn moment. Our next movie to review today is um actually, hold on a minute. I meant to do this. All right, so we'll get into, hang on a minute. The Cooler. The Cooler is a 2003 American crime drama film directed by Wayne Kramer from a screenplay by Frank Hanna and Kramer. Not the Kramer from Seinfeld, folks. Oh shit. The film the film stars William H. Macy, Maria Bello, Sean Hattlesey, Ron Livingston, Estella Warren, Paul Sorvino, and Alec Baldwin. If I was a casino cooler who mere presence at the gambling table usually results in a streak of bad luck for the other players. Um and the cooler had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 17th, 2003, and was released in limited theaters in the United States by Lionsgate Films on November 26, 2003. Baldwin and Bello were nominated for Golden Globe Awards and Screen Actors Guild Awards for their supporting performances, with Baldwin receiving his first Academy Award nomination. And the budget for the film is $4 million. Yeah, $4 million. Yeah, the film is $4 million actually, and the but and how it did in the box office, it did $10.4 million. Okay, so let's get over the awards and nominations. Um, all right, the wins. National Board of Review award for Best Supporting Actor is Alec Baldwin. Maria Bello won the Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actress Motion Picture. Um, Al Baldwin also won for Vancouver Film Critics Circle Award for Best Supporting Actor. Al Baldwin also won for Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics Association Award for Best Supporting Actor. And of course, the nominations. Al Baldwin for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, Motion Picture. Baldwin again. Alec Baldwin again. Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress, Motion Picture. Um, Bello. Satellite Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture, Drama. William H. Macy got a nomination. Another nominee, Alec Baldwin, for Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actor, Motion Picture, and alongside with another nominee, which is Frank Hanna and Wayne Kramer, for the Satellite Award for Best Original Screenplay. Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. Motion Picture, Alec Baldwin, and Bello, another nominee. Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role. Motion Picture. All right, so Casino Jack. Casino Jack is a 2010 comedy drama thriller film directed by George Hickenlooper and starring Kevin Spacey. The film focuses on the career of Washington D.C. lobbyist and businessman Jack Abramoff, who was involved in a massive corruption scandal that led to his conviction, as well as the conviction of two White House officials, Representative Bob Ney, and nine other lobbyists and congressional staffers. Abramoff was convicted of fraud, conspiracy, and tax evasion in 2006 and of trading expensive gifts, meals, and vacations for political favors. Abramoff served 3.5 years of a 6-year sentence in federal prison and was then assigned to a halfway house. He was released on December 3rd, 2010. Oh boy. Spacey was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture, or Comedy for his portrayal of Abramoff, eventually losing to Paul Giamatti for his role in Barney's version. Now, the budget for the film is $12.5 million. Now we go to the reception. Real quick, Casino Jack received mixed reviews from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. The film has a rating of 39% based on 97 reviews, with an average rating of 5.4 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, Kevin Spacey turns in one of his stronger performances, but Casino Jack is a disappointingly uneven fictionalized account of a fascinating true story. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 51 out of 100 based on 24 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, stating that Casino Jack is so forthright, it is stunning. Well, and it didn't do good in the box office, so $1.1 million out of a $12.5 million budget. Wow. All right. All right. The next movie we're about to get to is The Gambler. The Gambler is a 2014 American crime drama film directed by Rupert Wyatt. The screenplay by William Monahan is based on the 1974 film The Gambler, written by James Toback, which in turn is loosely based on Fyodor um Dost- Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky's um novel of the same name. The remake, starring Mark Wahlberg as the title character, premiered on November 10th, 2014 at the AFI Fest and was theatrically released in the United States on December 25th, 2014. It features the final film performance of George Kennedy before his death in 2016. And um so the budget for the film is between 25 to 31 million dollars. And let's see. And it did $39.3 million in the box office. All right. um okay, so on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 44% based on 144 reviews with an average rating of 5.5 out of 10. The website's critics consensus reads, in quote, well paced and reasonably entertaining in its own right. The Gambler still suffers from comparisons to the James Caan classic that inspired it. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 55 out of 100 based on reviews from 40 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a grade C plus on scale of an A to F scale. Blaj Iberi of Vulture.com wrote, in quote, Wahlberg grows into the part. He may not be right as a precocious, self-loathing intellectual, but he's very much at home playing a dickhead who's gotten in too deep. And as The Gambler becomes less about its protagonist's dashed intellectualism and more about the gathering danger of his predicament, the film gains power. Todd McCarthy of the Hollywood Reporter called it a slick and efficient remake, and in nearly every scene, Wahlberg carries off the central role with what could be called determined Elin. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone gave the film 2 out of 4 stars, saying Wyatt keeps the action coming at a fast clip. But watching Jim repeatedly pursue a path of self-destruction for reasons never made clear grows wearying. Jessica Lange's performance has received critical acclaim. The rep wrote that Lange had one of her meatiest film roles in ages. Meatiest. Oh shit. The Huffington Post described her performance as ferocious and capable of knocking down William Monahan's profanity laced dialogue with gleeful abandon. Also, the Boston Herald described her work as strikingly remarkable, which Newsday, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and IndieWire have agreed with, terming her affecting, stirring, and terrific. James Bardinelli, James Bardinelli from Real Views described her as heartbreaking as the cold, rich widow who blames herself on some level for her son's failure. Chris um, Nashawati from Entertainment Weekly lauded her acting as effortless by saying she can do icy in her sleep. Rex Reed from the New York Observer described her performance as hard and venomous. Um, Peter Travers described her performance as reliably superb. Jeff Baker from the Oregonian, stated that her acting is fierce. Anywhere suggested Lange as a contender for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. And last and finally, one casino movie is Heart 8. Heart 8 is a 1996 crime film written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson in his feature directorial debut and starring Philip Baker Hall, John C. Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Samuel Jackson. It is the expansion of the short film Cigarettes and Coffee. The film follows the life of a senior gambler and a homeless man. It premiered at the 1996 Cannes Film Festival. Yes, so so the movie didn't do great in the box office. The budget for the film was $3 million. Shit, damn son. Roger Ebert gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. Writing movies like Heart 8 remind me of what original compelling characters the movies can sometimes give us. Stephen Holden of the New York Times wrote, Heart 8 is not a movie that wants to make a grand statement. It is really little more than a small resonant mood piece whose hard-bitten characters are difficult to like. But within its self-imposed limitations, it accomplishes most of what it sets out to do. The acting is wonderfully understated, economical and unsentimental. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 82% based on 49 reviews with an average rating of 6.9 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads an absorbing showcase for Philip Baker Hall, Paul Thomas Anderson's featured debut in a gamble that pays off handsomely. It is described by some authors as a neo-noir film. Okay, before I even go to the video game chamber segment, I want to actually say something actually. Look, as I previously talked about in episode 103, Military Time, what I was basically trying to say is because people judge a movie based on the cover. It's like judging a book by its cover based on and look, there is no such thing as a perfect director, and there's no such thing as a perfect producer, a perfect actor or actresses, and perfect storylines or whatever. And this is what I mean. This is a prime example of high expectations. When you have high expectations to think that a movie is going to be bad or good or whatever case scenario may be, you don't know that. You don't even know what it takes behind the scenes of a process to make a film, to actually have people watch. And of course, you're not going to please everybody. Of course, you're not going to please everybody. And no matter what you try to do, you can't make everybody happy. You can only make yourselves happy. That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? Despite the critics, despite the criticism, whatever it is, man, despite all of that, man, you just know that you did the best you did the best you can to make films like casino movies or whatever types of movies you intend to make. Nobody is perfect, all right? And I'm just gonna leave it off with a button right there. You're not perfect. Directors and producers are not perfect. Even Hype Williams, for example. Look, when he directed Belly, it was a black film. Like, what do you want? What do you want? It's like you can't put a white director in a black film, which is a hip hop movie. Like, come on, man. Like y'all gotta cut it out with the fucking high expectations and shit, man. Like seriously. Like that's what gets you in a sunken place, man. Your high expectations gets the best of you. And that's just the token of me. And and this is what happens when your high expectations get the best of you. And and of course, there you have it right there. Um I had to really make my point. So so yeah, there you have it right there. Um all right. Although I usually have my sound effect in terms of from the instrumental from an old video game, but because my phone's out of service, we're gonna try a little something different. We're gonna try a little something different here, man, in the video game chamber. So let's get to it right here. All right, the video game chamber. Let's get to it right here, man. All right. All right. Um all right. Here's the deal with the video game chamber, man. We're gonna get into some stuff that's being released and all that great stuff right there, man. Let's get into it right here with the release and stuff. So all right, so we got some gaming releases that we need to go over. And and um and yes. Hang on a second here. All right, here we are. In the month of February is where we at right here. So this is the month of February we're about to get into. Okay, so Football Manager 2023, PlayStation 5 already came out already, February 1st. Chef Life, a restaurant excuse me, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC already came out February 2nd. And hold on a minute here. Hang on a minute here. And Deliver Us Mars for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC already came out February 2nd. And of course, Life is Strange 2 for Nintendo Switch already came out. Tales the Backbone Preludes, PC already came out. Pathless already came out. Ending, um, no, excuse me, Andling Extinction is Forever for iOS and Android already came out. Hold on, yeah. Wait. No, that comes out tomorrow. Excuse me. Um, that comes out tomorrow. So let's get into a little one of the reviews of. All right, so let's get into Life is Strange 2. Here we go. All right, Life is Strange 2 review. Many of the decisions we make in choice driven game boils down to selfish outcomes. We want to get the best rewards or spark romance with our love interest. And by the way, this is from GameInformer.com, the website I'm using. Having that kind of agency is fun, but Life is Strange 2 takes a different approach. It adds dimension by putting another character's needs before your own. Sean and Daniel Diaz are two young brothers on the run, and the developer Don't Nod tells an emotional tale about the connection between them. Excuse me, all while encouraging players as Sean to see choices in terms of what they mean for 9-year-old Daniel. The bond between the Diaz brothers is the most consistently compelling element of Life is Strange 2. Unlike similar dynamics in other narrative games, Sean isn't just protecting Daniel from danger. You are simultaneously shaping a relationship with him and setting examples for him to follow. This last point is important because Daniel has mysterious telekinetic powers, and how he uses them or doesn't largely on depends largely on Sean's guidance. For instance, if you let him use his ability to kill a dangerous animal instead of scaring it off, that may solve an immediate problem, but you have to wonder what it teaches him about how to use his gifts in the future. He can recognize the boundary between killing an animal and a person. Daniel looks up to Sean, and moments like these effectively keep that fact in the forefront of players' minds. I like how this made me view my choices less in terms of optimizing certain story results and more in terms of helping Daniel learn right from wrong. The interactions um in these situations have interesting consequences because you aren't determining Sean's actions alone. You are also influencing how Daniel might react later. At one point, I told Daniel to be honest with another character about his power as opposed to keeping it a secret because of the guidance I had given him in previous instances. He listened to me and obeyed. But Daniel can also disobey depending on the example you set. So your decision at any fork in the road isn't a guarantee about how the story will unfold. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this amb- ambiguity, but I did. It makes the behind the scenes flowchart of outcomes less apparent, allowing you to focus more on how you think the characters would react. Life is Strange 2's gameplay is a simple but effective combination of walking around, examining objects, and having conversations with the weirdos you meet along the way. The boys' ultimate goal is to travel from Seattle to Mexico, but circumstances force them to live off the grid to avoid detection, which puts them in a variety of questionable situations over the course of five episodes. Sean and Daniel cross paths with redneck racists, weed farmers, and zealous cultists. I appreciate how these characters represent a variety of perspectives, but some of the encounters feel contrived. Sean and Daniel meet some people at an outdoor market in Oregon and just happen to reconnect with them riding the rails in California weeks later. The stereotypical depiction of these side characters also stain in contrast to the care taken with Sean and Daniel, though none of them stay in the spotlight long enough to do significant damage to the larger story. The writing and performances can feel stilted at times, but even at their worst, Life is Strange 2 retains a core of authenticity that no awkward exchange can erase. Despite imperfect implementations, no, excuse me, imp, implementation, excuse me. The game builds a believable rapid report. Um between the brothers and made me care about them. I was regularly concerned about their health, whether they got enough to eat, and if they had the freedom to just act like dumb kids sometimes. Forging that connection is crucial for the story to succeed, and the team at Don't Nod gets it right. Um, Episodic games often have gaps of months between installments, but even by those standards, Life is Strange 2 kept fans waiting a long time from one chapter to the next. Excuse me. If you fell off the journey somewhere along the way, for if you were waiting for the tale to conclude, like I was, that is understandable. Um, However, whether you knew it or not, Life is Strange 2 has been quietly weaving a powerful and sincere narrative experience that admirably carries on the series' legacy. Yes, the concept is, as the eldest of two brothers on the run, your choices and actions shape the personality of the youngest and determine how he uses his telekinetic gift. The graphics, this entry maintains the series' signature visual style, but the faces and animations can't always convey emotions the dialogue seems to require. A contemplative soundtrack heavy on piano and acoustic guitar sets an appropriate, thoughtful mood. That's the sound. Playability, straightforward controls make exploration and conversation easy to manage. Entertainment, the Diaz brothers are likable heroes with a believable relationship. Their journey is punctuated by big decisions, surprising consequences, and a satisfying conclusion. And the replay is moderate. Okay. All right. So we have some upcoming games that's coming up. So we got what is it? So coming up this week, Hogwarts Legacy, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. That's February 10th. Mark your calendars for the games that's being released. Blank Nintendo Switch and PC, February 14th. Journey to the Savage Planet, PlayStation 5, Xbox and Xbox Series comes out February 14th. Souls of Chronos, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC also comes out on the 14th. Tomb Raider Reloaded, iOS and Android, February 14th. Wanted Dead, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC also comes out on the 14th of February. Pharaoh, A New Era, PC, February 15th. Returnal, PC, February 15th. Read, oh yeah, that comes out on the 15th, which is next week. Shadow Warrior 3, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series on February 16th. And I think I'm gonna actually wrap up right here though, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm gonna wrap up right here though. I've been meaning to actually um I've been meaning to wrap up here actually. So let's get into the very, 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 very last segment right here. All right, let's get into the very last segment right here that I like to call. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yes, stream choices on the go. All right. Hold on. All right, hold on a sec. Hold on a minute here. All right, hold on. Okay. All right. Y'all know what to do. Y'all know what to do. You like what you heard in today's episode, whatsoever, right here, right now. Please feel free to show some love by following Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Instagram alongside with my sports podcast, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, the Sports Edition Show, and of course, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And alongside of myself is myself, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Turn on your notifications so you can know when each episode is going to be dropping, and some details um on when you're going to know what the next episode is going to be pertaining to. And yeah, and also go to the link in bio where it says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. And when you go to the link, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms on there, and you're gonna see a variety of audio streaming platforms on the go. So you're going to actually hold on a minute. I'll be back. Sorry about that, folks. I had to use the bathroom real quick. Anyway, as I was saying about the stream platforms right here. When you go to the link in bio on Instagram where it says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms. in there. And you can leave a voice message on anchor.fm/meticulous vibe juice pod/message. And you can let us know on what you thought about the review topics of the casino movies and any other review topics that we discussed already. And speaking of which, let's start with Anchor. Speaking of which, let's start with Anchor. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute here. Yes, as you go to the link in bio where it says linktree/meticulous vibe juice podcast, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, which includes Anchor. And as I said, you can leave a voice message on Meticulous Vibe Juice pod/message. That's anchor.fm/ Meticulous Vibe Juice pod/message. All right. And it could be pertaining to the casino movies that we just reviewed or the previous review topics that we just discussed. You're welcome to chime in. All right. And speaking of Anchor, that's what we're going to start with right here. All right, so we are on Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM. These are Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. And you don't need a debit card or a credit card to download these apps. Make sure you follow this podcast right here, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, alongside with my sports podcast, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, the Sports Edition Show, and Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Podcast on iHeartRadio and everywhere else that I just mentioned. And finally, last but not least, make sure you go into the YouTube channel page of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Click on the noti bell while enabling alerts so you can be reminded of when the show goes in the air via live stream, along with the reminder of the time of the recording via live stream. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes, with the review topics, and stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and be sure to listen, stream, watch the episodes, download the episodes, share the episodes, especially on Spotify, especially on iHeartRadio and everywhere else. And of course, share the videos, share the episodes, and also tell a friend to another friend. Spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, don't forget to share the link that says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, and also share the podcast with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, friends, the people you are cool with from work, and festivities, barbecues, parties, wherever you meet new people and stuff. And by the way, you can download these apps onto your iPhones, your Android tablets, iPads, Android tablets, your laptops, which includes your Mac, and your Dell laptops, which includes your Windows. You can download these apps onto your phones, your tablets, and your laptops. And I'm going to say it again. iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, your laptops, which includes your MacBooks, your Dell laptops, which includes your Windows, whatever versions you have, Make sure you download these apps onto your laptops as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's gonna do it. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Greginator. And some people call me Greg, of course. Thank you very much for listening to episode 112 titled Think Like a Winner Chicken Dinner, which is dedicated to 21, the movie and the casino movie that we just reviewed today. And on top of that, remember, the grind does not stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and you have to earn it. Because everything's not going to be given to you on a silver platter. All right? And on top of that, New York wasn't built in a day. You have to trust the process, you have to trust yourself, and be confident in what you love to do as a career and as a skill. You feel what I'm saying? And on top of that, be sure to look and find something that makes you smile, that you love to do. Creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually, alongside with being on your P's and Q's with confidence, consistency, the motivation and inspiration that gets you into your zone with tunnel vision. All right? Follow your goals and dreams. Don't let any fucking haters tell you what you can and can't do. All right? Don't worry about these fuckers. You just put them in the fucking blender. All right? You're gonna put them in the blender and make a smoothie out of it. That's what you're gonna do. So yeah. All right. Um okay. So, like I said before, don't let anybody stop you from doing what you love to do and making a career out of it. And if you in whatever career field you're trying to do, whether it's a doctor, whether it's being a lawyer, whether it's being an EMT, whether it's being a firefighter, whether it's being a radio personality or a podcaster like myself. Um yeah, don't let anybody stop you from doing what you love. It's very important that you be confident in your voice and how it sounds. And it's okay sometimes to be shy. So you just have to practice conquering your shyness. I know it took me a long time for me to actually do this, to conquer my shyness and all that other stuff and feeling comfortable in my own voice. And if I could do it, so can you. All right. And as podcast content creators, um, you also want to make sure you have a unique name alongside with the stories behind the name, your hows, your whys, your wins, your whats, and all that great stuff right there on on why you want to start a podcast and all that great stuff. I'm sorry, I don't have time to get to podcast free game mechanisms today, but I will do that in a future episode. So thank you very much. I'm off this shit. Peace and one love, and have and I hope y'all enjoyed your weekend. Stay liquid, be careful out there, and of course, reach out to people that you care about, that you love. because you never know what they might be going through. And do what makes you happy and what makes you smile on an everyday basis. No matter how dark it is, just know that you are not alone in this fucking shit world that we in right now. All right? So, do you be the best version of yourself as you can. You are not your past. You're only a human being. So continue to be human and be easy and be confident, be consistent with your craft. No matter what you're going through, just know that you could have listened to any podcast in the world, but you chose to listen to this podcast platform right here. And I appreciate that. And it makes me smile to see the results of listeners from all over the world, international, Canada, USA, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 boroughs of New York, of in Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all very much. Peace and one love. And enjoy the rest of your week. Good night, everybody.